But I'm just saying that now where I am in my life, that I love myself enough to where I can't even look back at those times when I didn't love myself and just be like, oh yeah, I was kind of wilding.
So I think you have to you get to a point where you know, and then you start getting, so you got to stop suppressing that feeling that's telling you this isn't how this should go. And once you have that feeling, you got to start making the right decisions to say no one else is going to make me feel that way, but it starts with you.
Well, and we back, and we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. We are back with another episode of the You're Done podcast.
Whoop whoop.
It's your girl Big Desto, not the little one.
She was ready, y'all saw her little
Look, I forgot to say my name.
and it's your girl be more never less.
Girl. Not I was on our little break. I was reading the book that we're reading.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I'm probably still behind you because I did not read at all yesterday. So I'm gonna try to read as much as I can today. But so
Yeah,
far I like it.
it's really good. Yeah, you need to catch up because I think I'm about to be done. But I didn't move out my bed yesterday, and I read all day.
All day. Okay. Yeah, I was in
Yeah,
the bed,
no, I read.
but
Yeah, I read all day yesterday.
I was in the bed, but I was doing no reading. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to read more today. But anyway, y'all ain't come here about this ain't no book club. This podcast.
Listen,
So if y'all like to read, let us know in the comments.
and we'll drop what books we reading.
Right. Because we like books. But we back with another episode. And I did not close that door all the way. Whatever. But today we are discussing what we discussing. It's like I look at it before and then I still forget. It's when you love people who don't love themselves. Child, before we even never mind. I'll say that to after the off the camera. But loving people who don't love themselves, that you got to be a very strong individual because that's a lot of work.
It is.
Sometimes for certain people, I feel like loving yourself, and it could be hard. Some people struggle with that. So with that, on top of trying to love somebody else who also struggle with love, I can't do both. So what you think? What you think?
She is on one today, y'all. Actually, when I read this topic, it was interesting because I was like, I don't know if I've ever like. I feel like may have loved someone who didn't love themselves, but I don't think I stayed around long enough to
Well,
really be affected by them. But I do feel like I may have been the person that didn't really love themselves in a relationship based on how I may have been acting or the things that I decided to do or not do. Like I may have been the person.
so what do you feel like entitles like makes up, I should say, loving yourself? Like what does it look like or what does it mean to love yourself? Like, I
For
think I'm
me,
cute.
it's
No.
yeah. No, I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Like, you should feel very confident in your own body, in your own
Yeah.
skin, your hair, everything that makes up you. I feel like you should be very confident in. But I think for me, it was finding my own peace of just being with my own self. Sometimes I feel like we look for a lot of validations in other people, whether it's your job, how you look, the way you carry yourself, your type of car. It's a lot of materialistic things that come with that, but you're looking for someone to give you a pat on the back to say like you're doing a great job or that looks really good on you, or every time you step out, you a 10. And I felt like even when people were giving me the praises, I still wasn't at peace. I think once I got at peace, whether you gave me a compliment or not, then I was like, oh, you can't tell
Mm,
me nothing, because the reason I'm looking like a bum is because I decided that I wanted to dress like one, and I feel very good in it. So
right.
if you don't like it, then that's your problem.
So you think not seeking other people's validation means that you love yourself, right? That's what you're saying in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay, I can
Yeah. In a
agree.
nutshell, I think that's what it is.
And also being confident enough in like in yourself of being like, this is who I am, and if you messing with it, then cool. But if you don't like it, then that's cool too. That doesn't mean that I have to change who I am because you said you didn't like it. I'm not here to be
Yeah.
everybody's cup of tea. And I feel like once you start doing that, then you're living for other people. And that's a whole nother situation, probably. So
No,
I
I
feel
think
like
that's exactly what this is, though.
living for other, well, but I feel like we're talking about, oh, well, yeah, because I was going to say we're talking about loving people who don't love themselves. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Because if
Yeah.
I feel like, because you like stated your position, like you felt like you were the person who didn't love themselves before. I feel
Mhm.
like I don't even know if I want to title it as if I didn't love myself before, but I did feel like I would put myself on the back burner a lot for other people's
Mhm.
benefit. You know, like it's not
Yeah.
that I hated myself, but I guess I didn't love myself enough to be like, I love you, but not at the expense of myself. You know,
Yeah.
but I struggled with that. It was at the expense of myself because I was the type of person that was like trying to make everybody else feel better, but I didn't pour that same thing into myself. So would you
Yeah.
consider that me not loving myself or no?
I don't think so, but I feel like it's just one of those things where, like, when you were talking about it, I was like, I kind of feel like that was me, but I feel like it was because I didn't know what I did deserve. Because I think a
Mm,
lot of times you see where you come from, or you see how other people are being treated, or you kind of get to this point in life where you feel like, okay, maybe I won't get the fairy tale ending, so you settle. And then I think for the most part, when you find like those one or two good things, and then everybody else, again, validation from everybody else, like, oh girl, he cute, or oh girl, he's supposed to
mm,
go to the league after college, and so then you're sticking around even though you being treated like crap. Like that's he's been an asshole, you know.
right.
And so I feel like sometimes it starts off with you not really knowing that you deserve something, and then I think it can kind of translate into you, once you know that this person ain't right, then you really are just choosing them over yourself. So I think that becomes, okay, well, I don't love myself enough to say, hey, you're not going to do that to me, so
Yeah.
let me go ahead and stop it. But that's when I think the deal is when you say you don't feel like this is a topic based on the title of this conversation, is because it's saying you're loving someone who don't love themselves. And most of the time I feel like it's just the opposite. It's someone who claim that they love you, they're claiming that they do, treating you like crap, and then because you don't love yourself, you're allowing them to continue to do that.
So do you feel
And I
like
think
in that situation, that person that you are allowing to treat you like crap don't love themselves either? We got two people
maybe in
who don't
some
love themselves. Cause
maybe in some ways.
I feel like sometimes people portray how they feel about themselves onto others or how they treat you. Sometimes. I'm not saying this is always the case, but I feel like when somebody isn't 100% like knowing who they are as a person, it's hard for them to be able to love you for who you are because they're struggling with who they are. So they may try to
That makes sense.
belittle you. They may try to make you feel smaller than what you are because if you start feeling any bigger than them, that's exposing them more and more when
Yeah.
they already confused. Now being around you, somebody who may love themselves or don't love themselves, I don't know. Lord, I'm confusing myself. Do we love ourselves or not?
I think you get to a point where you do, because I think when you really love yourself, one, you're not looking for validation, and again, I think that's where that peace comes in. I don't need you to validate me, whether we're in a relationship or whether you just somebody I just so happen to meet crossing the street. I don't need you to do anything. And I'm not saying like, hey, is it nice when you cross the street and somebody say, "Hey, I really like your outfit"? Because I love when I see another girl and then she be like, "Oh my gosh, like your outfit is just too cute. You look good," and I be like,
Yeah.
"Thank you." You be some people I see and I be like, "I want to tell them that they hair look good," because I feel like you deserve that, but I feel like when you're talking about either being in a relationship with someone, whether or not they love themselves, I don't think you see it in that moment because I think you're so far like on the downward hill of how much you love yourself and they seem more confident, which is why they're making all of the decisions for you. Because if not, then you would be on the other end of it, right? You will be telling them what to do. They'll be following behind you like a little wet dog. But
Right.
I think I said just because I was in a relationship and this guy, he like for me, when I get dressed, like even if I call myself, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna wear this like really cute white top, it hang off the shoulder, and I'm gonna just wear some jeans. But this person would be like, yeah, I'm gonna wear a Coogee shirt. Like it was. Why do I need to know the brand? Because the jeans is the jeans. Either the jeans look good or they don't. And
Right.
this show you how long ago it was because hopefully you are not wearing Coogee today, but that's your
Please no.
business. But it was more so of that, and to me, in the beginning I thought like, man, he has a lot of confidence in himself. Like he look good, everybody like him, he tall, this, that, and the third. And then lo and behold, like we find each other when we get older and I'm just like, you are nothing like I thought you were. Like you're
Yeah.
nothing like I thought you were. And I think I realized it, but it was when they told me, hey, Brittany, one thing I really respect about you is that you still treat me like the person from, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, well, first off, that's where you from. Second of all, I don't care that you got a nice car because you can still be an asshole with a nice car. But again,
Yeah.
that's an understanding that these validations and these material things do not make you a great person.
Or
You can
lovable.
have the nicest stuff or love, yeah. And so I did end up thinking like, dang, maybe you going through a lot and so you continue to seek that type of validation. But I think sometimes you just end up meeting people, whether or not they love themselves or not, that they want to be the center of attention. They feel like if all eyes aren't on them, then they're not important. And I got to the point where whether or not eyes are on me or not, like I know who I am. God has positioned me in every space that I've been in. And no one in any of those spaces could ever say, oh, well, when Brittany was here, she act like this. I'm pretty sure I could pull people from South Carolina, Virginia, Texas, and I guarantee you all of them are going to probably say about the same thing
Yeah.
because
And
at some
'cause
point
that's who you
along
are.
those journeys, I found myself. Yeah. But I loved myself enough that I didn't have to change who I was based on who you were or the title that you had or if we were dating. And that's why I say that peace comes in that I don't have to hide my truths anymore. You either gonna like
Right.
me or you don't. Like you say, you can't be everybody's cup of tea. So
Right. I feel like because so let's talk about the time. So maybe it was me not loving myself because I feel like if you like we said if you're not loving yourself properly, you are allowing somebody to treat you less than you should be treated, right? So I've been in that
yeah.
position before, allowing somebody to walk all over me, treat me like crabs, that whatever. And
Yeah.
even if I'm like standing up for myself and telling these people, hey, you're not gonna do that to me because I got had a mouth on me,
Mhm.
I still would allow them in my life. So technically, no matter what I'm saying, I'm kind of contradicting it by my actions. Like I'm telling you, you got me messed up, but why am I still allowing you in my life? And to that,
Yeah.
you're pick a side. So then it got to a point in my life where I'm learning to love myself more, right? So I'm doing the things, and I'm like, yeah, all the things that I was saying back then, I'm putting action behind it. You're not gonna treat me like that, and I'm about to show you how you're not gonna treat me like that. And it ain't me
Yeah.
going out my way to be mean to nobody, but you can literally go. Please go. The door is open. Okay. And so I found myself in a situation with the person where at one point in my life, when I didn't love myself, they were able to do X, Y, and Z. Now they come years later and they're like thinking that we finna be doing the same thing. And it's like, oh no, you thought I was the destiny from 5, 6, 7 years ago, you silly rabbit. No, no.
You're
We're not we're not doing that. And so I've even had somebody say like, oh yeah, well I'm gonna start doing X, Y, Z, then you're gonna love me. And this is why I say people don't be loving themselves when what you bringing up the what they wear and oh you don't treat me different than what I because what you have doesn't make you who you are. That's stupid. That
Yeah.
makes literally no sense. And not to, I guess to make it biblical, that's like Job having all the things in the world and then they were stripped of him. But who is he without all that stuff? Is he still a man of God without all those things? He was. But my thing is when people of the world have all these things and they feel like so I brought that up to say that person was just like, I'm gonna start buying you X, Y, and Z. And like we talk about on the episode with Mama, I don't care about look, give me
Yeah.
the $500. I don't want to wear the $500. I want it in my bank account.
That part.
And so
No, for real.
that person, they're doing these things and I still don't like you, to be honest. You know, I don't care about what you
Yeah.
can do for me. It's about how you treat me. And I feel like when you're trying to be there. So for me, even back then, I used to be like, that person is living a life that isn't truly who they are. So I felt like, here I go thinking I can fix everybody. Oh, what can I do to make them see that you're living a life that is not truly like this isn't you? I'm trying to help you find yourself. And all along, I'm losing
Yeah.
myself within trying to help them love themselves. Like I love them so much that I'm
Yeah.
losing myself. Then it's just like,
Yes.
no, no. It's if it's either me or
I think
you at
you
this
said,
point.
yeah, but I think you said a lot. I think in that situation, that is someone who does not love themselves for sure. Because at this
Mhm,
point, you're now, y'all know. If you don't know, then you need to go back to season one. I'm a blunt person. Like,
mhm,
one thing I don't like is for you to have any assumptions about what I'm thinking. Why? Because I'm fit to tell you exactly what I'm thinking. I literally just had my friend, I think it was like last week, and she was like, Brittany, sometimes you can be very blunt. And she said, it's a little scary sometimes because I never know what you're going to say. She say, but I ain't never got to guess what you thinking or what you worried about or whatever the case may be. Because
mhm.
I'm telling you what it is. But I
Right.
think that's when you get to see through people's facade when you feel like I'm telling you who I am. I'm telling you what I want. But you still think that you can be who you are in this unhealthy view of yourself, but then you're gonna try to pinpoint a few things like, oh, you buying me something that's gonna make me come back to you. And it's
Right.
like, don't get it twisted. Just because I like to keep my hair done and wear a nice outfit and make sure my earrings match, that doesn't mean that I need you to buy those things for me and then it's gonna make me
Right.
like you even more because you, like you just said, you still are who you are at the core.
Mhm.
Period. Y'all see people all the time, they be on the internet talking about God. And then the next thing you
Right.
know, they doing the opposite. The B Simone thing threw me off. She talk about God, she saving herself, she doing X, Y, and Z. Next thing you know, she laying in the bed with all people the baby. Why?
Girl,
Why? Make it
we just
make
be doing
sense.
stuff.
Exactly. And I'm like, not everything need to be for views. If this is the life you gonna live, then the backlash, the people who are of the world, those things are gonna come with it. But it shouldn't
Mhm,
deter you from loving yourself and loving God and doing the things that you know He has called you to do. And I feel like for
mhm.
other people, it's I know that's the case, but I also like when I walk across the street talking about I look good. I like that the girls is in my DMs telling me X, Y, and Z. I know I got a good girl, but listen, I done bought her the Fendi, so she shouldn't even be tripping when Ashley in my DMs. I just said, hey, but why are we entertaining this kind of behavior anyways? So
Mhm.
to me, I'm like, when people are constantly saying they need more, you can't be in a monogamous relationship, things like that. To me, I'm like, yeah, you don't love yourself because you're constantly
Right.
searching for something else to kind of feel whatever this is. Because Brian's is enough for me, baby. I don't have time to be holding all these conversations with multiple people.
Right.
That's a lot
Get
of
out of
things.
my face.
I am tired.
Literally. I'm supposed to talk to all of y'all. I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Remember?
Look,
Oh,
y'all
girl.
talk to each other. I'm gonna take a
Right.
nap.
That part, because you want Mexican, he like Chinese, he wants seafood. I want a nap. This is too
And
much.
I'm about to block all of y'all. I could never do that. And so
No.
okay, so let's say I find myself in a season, right? Okay, and I don't want to continuously make it about myself, but I'm really trying to dig deep into this loving yourself thing, right? And so I
Uh-huh.
was living, and then in those moments, like I'm looking back and I'm thinking these things now. In those moments, I didn't think that like, oh, I'm not loving myself, but I was doing things that a person who didn't love themselves would do. I'm not gonna go into details,
Yeah.
but I was just living my life. Let's just say that I'm just out having a ball, okay?
Yeah.
And now that I'm where I am in my, and the thing is, this wasn't that long ago. Okay. Okay, it was long enough ago because people be trying to put two and two together. Look,
Yes.
I ain't did nothing bad. But I'm just saying that now where I am in my life, that I love myself enough to where I can't even look back at those times when I didn't love myself and just be like, oh yeah, I was kind of wilding, and sometimes you do things. I brought that up to say because sometimes you do things and you're not even realizing that you're doing these things, and it's like,
Yeah.
so to me in that moment, oh, I was just living life. But it's like
Yeah.
if you really truly cherish yourself and love who you are, there's just certain things you're not gonna do. There's certain people you're not gonna allow into your
Mm.
space. There's certain places that you're not gonna go. It's how you protect yourself and carry yourself, I feel like. And like you said with the girl coming across the street saying, hey, I like your outfit. Yeah, because if you're doing anything for only just the male attention, you're already off to a bad start. Because I'm
Oh yeah.
not doing all of it. Because like you said, if I want to look like a bum one day and think I'm the baddest one in the room, that's what I'm gonna do. And I've done that plenty of times. Because I'm confident within who I am. But like I like it when the girls say, "Hey girl, you look cute." Thank you, girl.
Yeah.
You too. But I feel like once you start doing things for the like male validation, that's
Yeah.
where it's just like you're already going downhill because then you'll do anything. You know, I'm
Well, not
not.
just, well, not just for the male attention. I am gonna put myself on Front Street. I'm a. I get nervous about doing stuff like this because again, people
But you
take
do it
things
all the
and
time.
run with it. Huh?
You do it all the time.
I do it all the time. I done told y'all about my finances before, so here we go, y'all. So I feel like at one point, my lowest point of saying I didn't love myself was when I decided to
I'm
do
not.
an action, which is I've never really had a whole phase, but I attempted, y'all. I attempted to have a whole phase because I felt like niggas out here playing. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what it is. Like I ain't gotta date you. We can do what we gonna do. I'm gonna get my meal. I'm gonna take my butt home. Like it is what it is. Now the crazy thing
Mhm.
is me trying to have a whole phase with somebody that I knew is crazy. But
You don't
nonetheless,
even know how to do it right.
I can't even do it right. But in my mind, I was doing a great job. Okay. But either way, it got to a point where this guy came over. We did what we was gonna do. And sorry, mama, close and daddy, close it. Don't watch this episode. And we did what
Just
we did what
fast
we was gonna
forward
do,
to like 3 minutes.
right? And then literally, I was like, "You can go home," which is
Oh,
like totally off base for me because I'm an emotional person in that aspect. I don't just be out here busting it wide open like everybody know. Like, babe, don't come touching me. Don't call me baby girl. Don't even Bree be like, I really don't even know how I got you. Cause I just be like, cause I'm not doing none of that. I don't do none of that. But with
right.
this person, I did. And I'm not kidding. As soon as we were done, I felt like you no longer need to be in my space. Like I got what was needed to come here for. We already knew what it was, and you need to go. And then this attempted to happen again. And I just was like, I feel disgusting. I just knew that if I continue to do this, you start suppressing those feelings, the things that's telling you not to do it, the things that's saying this is not who you are, this is not how you carry yourself, the things your parent taught you, or shit, some of the stuff they may not have taught you. You get the feeling like of disgust of your own self, and not even the fact
Hmm.
that they continue to keep showing up for it because you keep opening the, like you say, close the door. It's always open. But if you're allowing them to come in, at this point, it's no longer that person. It is
Right.
definitely you. So the second time, I was like, nah. And they was like, what? Like, what's the problem now? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's just not gonna work for me. So to say my whole phase literally lasted one time is crazy, but
It wasn't a phase or
it
a
wasn't a
time.
thing. It was a moment and it did not last. But I feel like because I knew those feelings, I decided not to suppress those. But what was even weirder is, and I have talked to my husband about this before, is I said is that I got afraid. And he said, "Why were you afraid?" He's, because as a man, they have whole phases. He's just like, you find your person, you don't, blah 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 blah. And I was like, because I told him, I said, if I was willing to do that, how far would I have gone? That was what I was afraid of. If I'm willing to do this, and I know you, like I knew, like we had dated for a few years, and we had been broken up for years, and then we got, well, I wouldn't even
Oh,
say we got back together. I was doing my whole phase
early.
with this person, right? And I just said, I was like, if I'm willing to do that, what else could I do? How far am I
Mhm.
gonna go? And it's not hurting anybody else but me. And I could not do that to myself. And I think that's what a lot of people don't stop to think is they're always like, well, nah, because he said he loves me, or he cheated on me, or the last person cheated, so what, the other man, he probably gonna do the same, so it's okay, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna go all out so they will stay, and then you're turning flips for why?
Take the
No, we're
Olympics,
not.
and you ain't Gabby. Sit down.
Sit down. And this ain't, I'm not a dog at the dog show.
I'm not
No.
doing all this. Ain't no
The answer is
circus
no.
or none of that. I'm not
Yes.
doing it.
So I think
So
no at all. So I think you have to you get to a point where and then you start getting, so you got to stop suppressing that feeling that's telling you this isn't how this should go. And once you have that feeling, you got to start making the right decisions to say no one else is going to make me feel that way. But it starts with you. And those
mhm,
actions that you put out show you that you love yourself enough
right,
to not let nobody play with you like that.
exactly. So step one, love yourself. Now that we done got that part out the way, have you ever dealt with somebody who didn't love themselves? I've already touched on it and said that I feel like I have, and it costs me myself. Don't do it. I'm not doing
Yeah.
all these things. It's not up to me to fix you. And I ain't gonna say everybody's broken. Maybe that's just not your person, but this person was broken. God
Yeah.
forbid. I hope they not, but they was broke. I hope they not still broke, but they was broke for a long time. Okay, I don't talk to them, but I'm just saying that I had to just be like, yeah, no, it's certain things that I'm not willing to put up with, like you said, because I love myself enough to not be able. You cool and all, but no, nobody's that cool. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not giving. That's what Jesus did. He gave his life for all of us. I don't got to do that. I-
I'm messed up.
I'm just a little dust off, okay? I mean, big dust off.
I get it right.
So I just feel like loving yourself, like we said, is that first step. But when you're dealing with somebody who don't love themselves and it's taking a toll on you,
Yeah.
and like you said, I'm the only one losing in this situation. I don't like how I feel. Why am
Yeah.
I putting myself through this? And I'm gonna just have to pray for you from a distance. But I cannot continue this relationship, this friendship, whatever the case may be, because I know that there's one. I know that there's people out there who will love me properly. Duh. So why would
Yeah.
I sit here and put up with somebody because I'm trying to make them love themselves? Destiny, be for real. That's what I was doing. Girl, look, they need to do that and then come to you. Don't come to me trying to love yourself. Love yourself first. Because I ain't got time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave you.
Well, now that you said that, I don't think I've ever been in a relationship necessarily. I do feel like, I mean, with everybody, like right now, I can say I'm confident, right? But there's some things that I just be like, ooh, like right now I'm pregnant, y'all. And I know my belly gonna grow, so it's expected, but it still, you just be like, ooh. Lord, the things I used to be able to do, it's just not the same. So we all have our moments. I feel like I've been in relationships where maybe in those seasons, someone may have like dim their light a little bit to kind of get to the next level or feel like they had to because somebody else was saying something about them, whatever the case may be. I don't think I've ever dated anyone particularly where I had necessarily started to lose myself because like I said, most of the time I've only dated 3 guys before I got married, but I think I at least I done broke up with 2 of them. So I'd be like, you look like you want to have sex in college. Don't like I'm not gonna wait around for the phone call for you to say I really love you, but I made a mistake. So let's just call it quits. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have time for
Yeah.
that. That's the kind of person that I have been. But and so it was crazy that I wanted to try whole phase after I had been out of college.
I don't know why she keep calling it that.
I know my whole moment. I don't even know if it was a whole moment, girl.
And stop
Whatever we
saying
want to
that
call it.
word,
Oh, my nasty moment.
girl.
It sound worse. But nonetheless, what I was trying to get to, anywho, is that I feel like I've been in friendships where people didn't love
Mhm.
themselves. And the crazy thing when it comes to friendship, for me, which is even wilder, when I say I mess with you, I mess with you. So if I say I'm your friend and we out and somebody trying to do something, like we looking for the exits or we figuring out we fit to throw something at somebody and running away, like whatever the case may be, like we down for the count. You know what I'm saying? We ain't
Right.
going to jail, but I'm down for the count. So I feel like I have been in situations where this girl, she grew up rough. So I wouldn't say I expected, but the thing she talked about to me was like, okay, well, if that's how you grew up, then that sounds very interesting that these are the things that you probably would have trouble with necessarily. But once someone, and this is just my opinion, y'all, so don't come for me in the comments. But I feel like once you know your triggers, once you are aware of the things from your past that show up now or the decisions that you making stem from your past, once you acknowledge them, to me, you are aware of them.
Mhm.
You then decide that you want to continue to do something. This is when I no longer could be your friend. And not from the capacity that I don't want to see you healed and be a better person, but like Destiny kept saying, you can't change anybody who does not want to change. It doesn't matter if you give them the world, you give them the best therapist, you spend all your money, you love them, you tell them you love them, you leave the notes on the
Mhm.
windows, all that stuff. If they are not wanting to change themselves, they're never going to change. And so when people, to me, once I've given you all I can give you, I've been sitting on the phone with you for hours. I done showed up visiting you in the parking lot because you done cussed your man out. And girl, the list goes on and on. Then I have to protect my own peace because sometimes too, and I was married at that time, I feel like you can sometimes take those things into your relationship. Because now you
Mhm.
so drained from this friendship that you like, I ain't got nothing to give you. And first off, I only know her because of you.
Right. I'm crying.
Big man.
But that is a great point because it's not only just intimate relationships. Some
Yeah.
friends,
No.
they and it's just
Yeah.
knowing when it becomes a very unhealthy situation. Like
Yeah.
I'm giving you all the advice in the world. I'm trying to be there for you, but at some point you got to do your part because
Yeah.
you're not finna get on my nerves. Look, I love you so much that I'm gonna just have to leave you alone. Okay, think about
That part.
it.
I'm just, I have no more words. And I wish I could remember this, the full story. And I'm sorry, because y'all know I'm still in my journey with the Lord and my mind be going
What
left
is it about?
sometimes. But there is one story. Something was going on with someone in the Bible, and these other men gathered around him, but they didn't say anything. But it
It
had
was
been like
Job.
days. Was it Job? Okay.
Mhm.
So to me, I sometimes feel like we live in this space where, even like based on this whole entire conversation we're having today, is, well, what else could I have done? Or what did I change? Or what did I decide not to do? And sometimes I'm like, what if you just say nothing?
Just be there.
Just
They
just
sat
be
there for
there.
days.
Exactly.
Just
But what
quiet.
if you even did that with yourself? Like some people are so afraid to sit with themselves. Sometimes I ain't gonna lie. Before I met Bree, I think I had been single for five, 4, 5. I had been single for a while, yeah. So I had a lot of time to sit with myself. Now, don't get me wrong. Them first 2 years, I was somewhere. I wasn't necessarily with anybody, but I
Uh,
was seeking validation and whatever the case may have been. I wasn't, yeah. Destiny said don't say it no more, but I wasn't in no phases with anybody. But I did find it hard to sit with myself. And then all of a sudden I just started going out to eat by myself. I went to a bar
dating
by myself. I
yourself.
mean, I kept my head on a swivel as a woman being out, but I started to just do things that I liked. I found hiking trails when I lived in Virginia, and I love those things. So I romanticized my own life and where I was by myself. And I think a lot of people don't start to do that until they get with someone. But you have to remember that when you get into a relationship, not saying losing a part of you is not okay, but even being married, like you become selfless. I have to give up something when I'm with my husband, and it's not a
Right.
bad thing because it's actually making our relationship stronger for the betterment of our family. But the same thing could be said when you get into relationships looking for that person to give something to you that you don't even have enough capacity to give yourself. Like I couldn't really truly love Breons and give him great advice and be a good wife to him and cook dinner and all these things if I already didn't cook for myself, wasn't telling myself nothing positive, wasn't picking myself up on my bad days, right? So
Right.
being able to romanticize my own life and learn to love myself helped me when I did get into a really healthy and good relationship, when we even had our bad moments, to realize, well, what are we going to do now? And to still love myself, but love him, to still be one.
Hmm.
That just don't happen because you think y'all soulmates. It still requires
Right.
work. And if you wasn't
No,
there
for
to
real.
begin with, it's not just gonna happen because he was nice to you and opened your car door.
At all. Because nobody should enter any type of relationship feeling like they have to get shed this, like you said, yeah, I become selfless, but I shouldn't have to become something that's not me, unless it's me
Yeah.
becoming a better version of myself. But if it's me, like just dimming my light, for instance, I've done that a lot for in certain
Yeah.
relationships, friendships, whatever the case may be. It shouldn't, if those type of relationships that you find yourself in, those type of relationships, those are not the type of relationships you need to be in, because nobody that loves you will want you to do that, and nobody who loves themselves will need you to do that. So there's no, they just go hand in hand. Why am I dimming my light? I'm confused. We could, if you shining and I'm shining, what's the problem?
Shine bright like a
Just cause
diamond.
your light, exactly. You need to pay your light bills. I don't know. Cause I,
Not your
this is my
light
light.
bill.
My light got one setting. It on dim.
That
It's
part.
on.
That was tea right there. But I do feel like it takes time for you to get, okay, so knowing that you have dimmed your light before, what was it that you did to say, hey, like I'm not, like I got the one setting and I like this setting and everybody needs to follow suit. And if you don't, then that's okay. But the light ain't gonna change.
I would say not outside of, I had other good people in my life telling me like, "Hey, Destiny, what you're doing is kind of dumb." Well, they ain't say that, but in a nutshell, like you shouldn't
Yeah.
allow people to do that to you. It took me to finally just want it for myself, and it's, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie, with that specific situation, and I'm finna tell my business. In that specific situation, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe God was like, oh, she's almost there. She's gonna, do it. And I just never, I never did it. I was never strong enough to like move myself in that situation back then, right?
Yeah.
So one day I was literally asleep, and I woke up, and God was like, and this is one of the stories I always tell when people be like, "How do you know God?" is talking to you. Oh, baby, I knew because there wasn't nobody else in that room but me. It had to be him. So I'm like, he said, you're done with that. You go ahead, get rid of them. Whatever you thought y'all had going on, we are finally done. We're done. God had to tell me we
Yeah.
was done. And I had to finally accept it and be like, you know what? I am kind of tired of people treating me like crap.
Yeah.
You're right, God. You know a little something. And so I had to want
God.
it from right. I had to want it for myself. And it took me way longer than it probably should have, but in the long run it taught me so much about myself. Like I'm able to endure those things, yes, but when you're dealing with somebody who claim that they love you, those are things that you shouldn't have to deal with those things. Like, why are
Yeah.
you so mean to me? Why do you feel like you can go do X, Y, and Z to me and I'm just supposed to get over it? Then, God forbid, I go and do it to you. Now I'm the bad guy. You're crying. Oh, please.
It'd be
Please.
the crime.
I just be
How
like, you know
could you?
what? And then I'm a crybaby. So seeing you cry, I'll be looking like, so when I'm looking at you weird because you're crying, you need to stop. You
Yeah,
performing.
it's an immediate no. It's an immediate you're done. It's an immediate I need to leave.
Right. And then back then, I'm not even gonna say I fully loved myself when that moment happened, but I had the obedience to remove myself from it because I didn't remove myself. God had to tell me, you know. And I literally, it was like
Yeah.
8 o'clock in the morning, called him up. Yeah, and they said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I don't know. God said." I don't
I'm
know.
saying, God.
God did. And so I just had to remove myself. I just had to. But then also,
I
what?
had nobody call me and say, we can't be friends because God said.
Right. Because it wasn't me. It just wasn't. And so it was all him. You got to ask him. I don't know.
Oh,
And so
I
even
don't know.
now, years after that situation, and I found myself in a situation again, that situation from years ago, I'm reminded of that. Do you want to continuously feel like that? Do you want to be continuously find yourself in a situation where you're allowing people to treat you like crap? Or are you going to stand up and love yourself enough to be like, I deserve more? And it was like, you know what? That's what I'm saying. My light is either on or off. Okay, ain't no dim, but sometimes it was off. But now that it's on, it be on. But I
Ain't
just
got
feel like exactly. I had to go through a season of my light being off to what's the word? To what's the word? To appreciate the high light bill. You're gonna have to pay for that light bill because everybody gonna be mad that your light is on. Everybody gonna be mad that you don't
no.
want to dim it. But I'm gonna pay
This is
that high
very.
light bill.
I think the biggest thing I've can take from this conversation though is that don't don't get upset with yourself when you're in your valleys. You know, when you are low. Like as long as you know that there's a tunnel, there's a way for you to get out. Like always keep the hope alive and stay in your stay prayed up, and to continue to search for what it is that you really want. I think most of the time when you stop searching for what it is that lights a fire or the light up inside of you, that is you giving up. As long as you don't give up, I think you'll be okay, because it's very easy, even when you look at someone who it looks like their life is together. Like for instance, and this is just very mild, like Tiana Taylor and Iman. Like I literally was like, you can't find another couple. Like I just felt like they looked like each other, they belong with each other,
Baby,
and then all of
behind
a
closed
sudden,
doors.
apparently he was a whole asshole. And then I mean, even like you look at Beyonce and you thinking, like literally people icon love her, X, Y, and Z, and she come out with a whole album, and we all trying to figure out, well, who is Becky? What? There's a Becky at your house? So I think though you still have to, as I think in all of those situations with both of them, one with her staying, and who knows what Beyonce's situation was with, and then with what we know about Tiana Taylor, getting divorced and everything. I feel like with both women and how they're expressing themselves through those situations, they never gave up on them, and they set
Mm-hmm.
standards for what kind of love they wanted, whether it was from a friend or from a new relationship or the current person that they were with. You demanded it, and it didn't require you to cuss people out, to go off, to do these extras. You have to change, and then you show that change, and if that person is down for that, they're going to also change. And it is not saying you're molding yourself to that person, it's showing mutual respect. Me and Brianna are not the same people. By far,
Mm-hmm.
we are not the same people. We have common interests, but we are not the same. But on every level which that matters, and whether it's something I enjoy doing or something he's enjoying to do, I respect him. I will go out of my way to do something that he likes to do that I absolutely hate doing. and I end up having a really great time with that, even if it's something that I wouldn't do on my own. So I think
Mm-hmm.
from this conversation, my biggest thing is don't get mad when the bad times happen, because that's just life. But also don't forget to continue to love yourself and figure out who you are, and then you exude those things to everyone that you interact with, whether it's an associate, coworker, boyfriend, girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
spouse, sister. It don't matter.
Right. But I
Mhm.
also feel like some people may struggle with the whole thing of not wanting to be alone. So they deal with certain situations or certain people who may not love them correctly or may not love themselves. So just remembering, like I said, maybe I didn't say it. I said it in my head though. There, God is the one person who will continuously love you the way that you need to be loved. So first seek Him, and then He will fill your cup the way that you need it, and then you're able to go out to the world and have that discernment of knowing, oh, I can be around you. You're not. I ain't got to dim my light around you. You cool, or you know what? You cost me too much. I ain't gonna be able to hang around you. So just knowing that it, like we said, it first starts with you, but really it starts with God. Go to
Yeah,
God, ask God what you need,
yeah,
because there's so many times when that's like now in this season of my life, I love myself the most. Like I'm great, okay. Even on the days when I don't feel like the best ever, I still feel like I'm pretty great,
yeah,
and that's because I'm rooted, the roots of my, I guess, where I get my love or whatever, what's the word, confidence, it comes from God. It doesn't come from me, because I could wake up one day and look in the mirror and think I look disgusting. And God is like, but I created you and I said that you were perfect.
and I'd
So
be
just
like, you're
understand.
right.
Right. So just understanding that, like we said, it does start with you, but you have to take that initiative to say, I deserve this. And to truly believe that what you're seeking is out there. You don't have to be around people who don't love themselves. You don't have to be around people who don't want to love you properly.
Yeah,
You can love yourself enough to be okay with being by yourself. I'm telling
amen.
you, outside of being married, being by myself was the best decision ever. Not the little boyfriends, that was the worst. I much rather have just been by myself till Corey slid in my DMs. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to talk to y'all. Obviously, you got to talk to people. That's how you're gonna figure it out. Whatever, whatever.
Yeah, but
But based
everybody
on my
don't have to
past,
have all your time.
yeah, and don't just be out here dangerous to anybody.
That
Okay.
part. There you go. Oh, bow.
Right. So I don't even know what we gonna say we done with.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I almost felt like this was a lot that I felt like we were kind of teaching our audience almost, because I do
Mhm.
feel like it's something that I've gotten better with. But if I had to say I would be done with anything, I think the biggest part, like you said, is being okay with sitting by myself. So I would be done with trying to step out with other people to validate Brittany in any season of my life, rather than asking God and seeking, like you say, seeking Him first, and
Mhm.
then saying, it's okay that I can sit here. It's okay to feel what I feel, but I don't have to stay here.
Right.
And I think a lot of us tend to down those feelings so you can keep doing other things, or you find substance abuse to numb that so you can go do X, Y, and Z. And I think sometimes you just have to, it's okay to sit in a feeling,
Just
but
wait.
recognize it. Yeah. And then come on out.
I agree. And I also will add to that and just say, but like I said before, obviously believing that what you have, that you want is out there. Because I've had somebody tell me, oh girl, you're just looking for a fairy tale. And y'all probably think when I say this stuff I'm making it up. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This is the same person that was playing with me a few years ago. You want a fairy tale. I said, well, God said if you ask for it, you shall receive it.
My girl over there
In the
living
middle.
it, okay? My girl is living that fairy tale because she's a fairy.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I use
Exactly.
that time for everything. Excuse me.
I guess don't play with my God. Because in the middle of a heated argument, here I go preaching. Well, God said, and I drops mic. What he supposed to say after that?
No,
So if you can't give it to me, that's cool. Just get
yes.
out the way, please. That's
Okay.
fine. And I
Because
hope
I
you
was
find love
like,
within yourself. Go find
boom.
love within yourself because I'm done trying to give it to you or try to help you find it. May God be with you. Holla.
Okay, Pastor, Pastor Holmes.
Amen. Amen. Everybody look to your neighbor, say, neighbor.
Neighbor.
When one man won't, God will. I'm crying.
We love y'all, by the way.
I am crying.
But,
Okay.
okay. Yes.
All seriousness, no.
Focus.
I guess the
Focus and
episode
close
done.
it out.
I'm crying. Well, that was another episode of the You're Done podcast.
Yes.
It was a good one. Love yourself. And we will see y'all at the same time next week.
Peace.
Peace.
That was 50.
Huh?
You heard me?
What?
That was 52 minutes. That was long. But we did it.